In today's video, we're going to be looking at the top 10 rules you should be following when running your own business. These 10 rules are going to help you know how to grow your business and stay focused on what you need to be doing as the CEO of your own small business, aka CEO entrepreneur. So if you are not following these rules, then maybe this is why you've actually hit a ceiling and your business is not growing. So stick around, and if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing and all of that good stuff. Right, let's get on with the video. Hit it. Right, so let's get down to business. If you are running a small business and you want to adopt a CEO mindset, here are the 10 rules that you should be living by, starting with number 1. Number 1 is decision, not precision. Every single decision that you make, it doesn't have to be perfectly right every single time. It's not about getting things right all the time. It's about actually making the right strategic decisions in a timely manner. Strategic and timely are really important here. So when I mean timely manner, I mean, as your business is growing and continues to grow, hopefully, you're going to be bombarded by a barrage of questions and people asking you for decisions to make, whether it's going to be your clients, whether it's going to be your contractors, employees, whoever you are, awesome team, you're going to be asked a whole bunch of questions. And the thing to do here is to actually pause first. Just take a step back and pause and consider the impact of what your response might result in. You're going to make a decision, and that decision will potentially play out in many different ways. You should consider the best case, the probable case, and the worst case. And once you're actually looking at the best case, probable case, and worst case, you might have a few different responses in your head where you're basically saying, right, do I do this? If this happens, then this is the best case, worst case, probable case. If I do that, then that's the best case, worst case, probable case. Which one of those worst cases am I more accepting of? And do I have a plan B or a contingency plan if it happens? Remember, we're talking about decision, not precision. Pausing here also doesn't mean freezing. You need to be able to make your decisions pretty much on the spot sometimes, but sometimes you don't need to. You can take a step back and pause. The important thing here is that you're not trying to be perfect. We do not live in a perfect world. So why are we trying to put these impossible standards on us where we are trying to say, you need to make the right decision every single time? It's not going to happen. So the sooner we accept that, the sooner we come up with decisions that we need to make in a timely fashion, because time counts. Time is money, as they say. But also making sure that they're strategic and you're guiding your business in the right direction strategically. If you haven't thought about strategy yet, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But for now, let's focus on the fact that you're guiding your business strategically. If your response or decision is going to veer you off that sort of track of where you're going and where you're heading, then don't do it. If it's going to guide you approximately to that distance and that destination, then do it. And it's as simple as that. So what you need to be doing is taking a pause, considering different options, different responses, playing out different scenarios, best case, worst case, probable case, and picking the one that makes the most sense to you at the time and going with it. Now, if you end up making the wrong decision or things go wrong, hopefully you've already thought of a plan B. But even if something unexpected comes out of the blue, then what you should be doing is saying to yourself, right, what can I learn from this? And can I actually turn this obstacle or challenge that's actually happened in front of my face at the moment? Can I turn that into an opportunity? And that's how you should be operating when you're looking at decisions inside your business. That's number 1, decision, not precision. Right, number 2, top down, not bottom up. Focus on your business from the top, sort of bird's eye view, and then zoom down. Do not work the other way around. And I see a lot of people doing this where they just literally sit there working inside their business and looking at the day-to-day tasks that they need to be doing and not really having a connection and a link to a path of where your end game is going to be. If you do it that way, where you're working bottom up, you're going to get lost in all the little details and all the little sort of tasks that you should not be worrying about. What you really should be doing is you should be trying to grow value into your business. And by doing that, you need to make sure that you've got an end game, you've got your sort of final destination, you've thought about it strategically, and you're kind of cascading down. You're literally basically saying, right, if this is my end game in 3 years, 5 years. This is what I do in 2 years. This is what I do in a year. This is what I do in a quarter. This is what I do in a month. And this is what I do this week. And this is what I do today. Wow. Right. So still with me? What I'm trying to say here is that the way to go about your business needs to be from the top down. Any other way that you're going to be looking at it, when you start looking at sort of the bottom up, you're going to get lost in a lot of sort of tasks that you're not going to understand. Do they connect or not? Are they sort of coherent? Are they focused? Are they all going to lead me to my path? And then what we do is we end up getting tempted by, the shiny object syndrome, where we end up saying, oh, look, that's nice. Ooh, look, that's nice. And we don't want to do that, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're staying on course. That destination, that sort of way that we're going, we've got obstacles in the way that we need to find, approaches to those challenging ways to sort of navigate our way through that. But we need to be focusing top down. I think I've said enough about that. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3, relinquish control to take control. I know it sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? And we as entrepreneurs, I know we are control freaks. We want to do everything ourselves, and we want to be able to do it in a certain way, and no one else can do it that way. I am there, I've been there, and it's common. However, if we do that, we end up being our own bottleneck. We end up getting in our own way of growing the business, because we're going to have a capacity issue. We do not want to have a capacity issue in the business. We're only human after all, and there's only so much that we can do in a given day or week or month or year. And if everyone is relying on you to make those decisions inside your business, then there's going to be a capacity issue, and you're going to hit a ceiling at one point. So delegating out authority, not just tasks, but delegating out authority is really going to be important as you grow and scale your business. You don't need to do it from day one, but as you're growing, be mindful of it, that this is something that you're going to have to do. By relinquishing that control, you're actually gaining more control over the business, because you're going to be starting to work and focus on your business, putting value into your business rather than working inside it and actually doing all those tasks that can be easily delegated out to people. But also another way of delegating sort of out control, or relinquishing control, is by potentially getting other people as investors into the business, or other people taking more control over the business. And in that area, in that capacity, they can grow their own section, and they can grow what they're really focused on. I'm not telling you that you need to go and sort of get investment and get funding for your business. That's one strategy that you potentially could take, but there are a whole bunch of other ways that you can actually relinquish control to get a bigger slice of the pie, which is what we all want to do at the end. We want to have financial freedom. We want to have time flexibility. And if we're going to sit there and be control freaks about our business, we're never going to be able to take a break or walk away for 3 weeks or 4 weeks and then come back and hopefully decisions have been made and the business is still ticking. So relinquish control to take control. That's number 3. Number 4, strategy, plan, execute, in that order. So do not start setting goals. Do not start making decisions because you've come up with an idea, or you've heard someone else say, hey, that's a good thing to do, or this is trending, or that is trending. This is the thing that you need to be doing. And then you see like a shiny new object or a new toy or a new tool or a new this or a new that. Sorry, rubbish. No, that's not going to grow your business. That is a sure way to get you overwhelmed, to get you working ad hoc, and it's not really going to help you grow your business. The first thing that you need to do is sit down and think about strategy. Where is your destination? How are you going to get there? What are the challenges in the way? How are you going to approach those challenges, and sort of how are you going to navigate your way through them? Once you've got that, then you plan it out, and then you say, right, this is how my plan is going to look like. Here are my goals. Here is what my sort of 3-year plan is. Here's my 1-year plan. Here's my quarterly plan. And then you go about executing it in that order. So make sure it's not just something that you're running around doing ad hoc things. Everything has to be done coherently. So when you see what we've been talking about in the previous points as well, top down, strategy first, plan, execute, everything needs to come in that particular mindset. Otherwise, it's really going to cause you a lot of heartache and a lot of headache. And I don't want that for you. So please, strategy, plan, execute. That's number 4. Right, number 5 is budget, forecast, and ensure continuous cash flow. One of your responsibilities, one of your job descriptions as a CEO of your business, is about making sure that you've got enough cash in the bank. I've got a video up here which talks about how you should be working on your business, not in your business. But it's not just about ensuring there's enough cash flow. What you should be also doing is having a look at potential forecasts in terms of, like, in the future, if we play out this strategic scenario, you should have a strategy and you're saying, this is how I'm going to grow my business. If we go this way, that way, or the other way, do I have a best case, a probable case, a worst case scenario? And in the worst case scenario, do we still have enough cash in the bank so that we can actually survive as a business and continue growing if things go wrong? Once you've had a look at those forecasts, now I'm not telling you that you need to go and actually build those forecasting models. You could hire out someone to do that for you, but you should be able to interpret the results and the numbers that are coming out of that, and then set a budget aside for the coming quarter, the year, the 2 years, 3 years, whatever sort of distance you're looking out, at least the next quarter, and actually set aside a budget and say, right, this is how much I'm going to spend on marketing. This is how much I'm going to spend on building a team. This is how much I'm going to spend on developing my products and services. This is how much I'm going to spend on optimizing my systems and processes in-house. You need to be able to understand how much money you've got and how it's going to be spent in the right places so that you can continuously grow your business and keep it going. Those are the first 5. In the next video, we're going to look at the next 5. So stay tuned. Please make sure that you like and subscribe. It's coming right up. So please make sure that you watch it next. And if you would like to download a sort of a pinup of these top 10 rules, there's a link below where you can find a place to download it. So check the link below and click on it, and you'll be able to find out the top 10 rules. But I'll see you in the next part.